Yo, what's good, everybody? I am Monk Dan. Thanks for joining. Thanks for checking out my channel. This channel is designed to share philosophy ideas and grow with them, learn about them, share them, and yeah, man. Thanks for joining the channel. All right, so I am doing a book review on Casanova, The World of a Seductive Genius. Man, and this is by Lawrence Bergreen, I should say, author of Columbus, The Four Voyagers. I purchased this book back in 2015, right? And I gave the book away. I didn't want to do it. I was just in a different mindset, and I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to give this book away. But here it is, 10 years later, I actually purchased the book again. And I'm excited about it. And I'm going to do some reviews. Actually, I am going to do book reviews on each chapter. And I'm going to start with the preface. I was like, yo, I want to break down the preface. I want to just read the entire book. Why is this important? I mean, shit, I could talk about anything, really. I'm in the dating land field, I guess you could say. I'm not dating like in a relationship, but, you know, I'm a man and I like women, you know? So this is one of those books that came up in the conversation. And I was like, yo, let me just purchase this book again and reread it. All right, so let me break it down, man. So I've already started with the preface. And just a little background, just a little. Casanova, first of all, his full name is, it's hard to pronounce. So one thing about this book, it gives a lot of background on the culture. He's an Italian guy, so his background is from Italy, so they give a lot of historical aspect to the book, which I like, but it takes me a bit to, you know, break down and understand what the hell is going on. But yeah, let me actually get his name. It's Giacomo Casanova, but let me make sure I'm saying it right, and if I am saying it incorrectly, oh well, you know, I'm learning. So, so if you take it personal, I don't know what to fucking tell you. But let's see, Giacomo Casanova pronunciation. Here we go.
Pronouncenames.com.
Giacomo Casanova.
Giacomo Casanova. All right, so here we go. We're gonna do a quick review. I'm doing the preface. This is only the preface, and then I'll continue on throughout the book. All right, I'm not gonna read every fucking thing, but I'm just gonna give you the parts that I quickly highlighted. Man, I don't know. Do y'all do this? I highlight a lot of shit in my book. I'm that highlighting guy. I love to highlight shit in my books. I don't know if anybody else does that, but anyway. Let's see. Some key things about him. So, all right, let's just break down. Let's start with the perceived idea of Casanova. Casanova, and this is before reading the book. Casanova is seen as, remembered as, generally speaking. I'm not saying this is what you or everybody, but generally, excuse me, he's viewed as this romantic, suave guy. I mean, the ladies love him, and he's just this lover guy. If that is accurate, and if that's what you had perceived him as, we're on the same page. Before I had read this is what, you know, I've always looked at it as. Man, this dude is a lover dude. I mean, this dude, you know. But I'm glad I purchased this book because although he does have a lot of seduction with women, and I'm not going to spoil it, I'll get to that point. There's a lot of seduction in this book. But he's not the guy that we are perceived to know him as. All right, let's just get to it. All right, so we know his name is Giacomo Casanova. That is his full name. I'm mispronouncing his first name, but anyway. All right. So one thing that I highlighted is that uh, uh, this guy here, Casanova. I'm gonna say Casanova, but this guy Casanova was amongst some very important names. I'm not gonna pronounce all the names correctly, but these are some of the popular names. Jean Jacques Rousseau. I've known that name. Please don't quote me or come down on me. I don't fully know all of these people. Voltaire. God damn it, I know that name, but I cannot remember where I know him from. I know you do. You'll tell me about it. Benjamin Franklin, Mozart. He's like associated with these people. How can I say it? I'll just read it. It says John Jacques Rousseau, Voltaire, Catherine the Great of Russia, Benjamin Franklin, Mozart, and Lorenzo da Ponte. They were all friends and correspondents of Casanova. So it's crazy because we just talk about him from the romantic aspect. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because he was associated, or as they said right here, all were friends and correspondents of Casanova. So I mean, even though he has that persona of being a lover and all this, he was also friends with these very important people. Like, man, that's something that blew my mind. I was like, damn, I didn't know that, you know. But anyway, another thing, I'll just read this part that I highlighted. It says, we think of Europe in the 18th century as the age of revolution or the age of enlightenment, which I'm familiar with the enlightenment period, but it also was the age of Casanova. So man, this dude had an age that's, you know, we talk about the age of enlightenment, and also it's known as the age of Casanova, the Venetian. I cannot pronounce this word right here, please forgive me, but who is incarnated with passions and pleasures. So I mean, this dude, it was so popular that they made an era for this guy, man, an age for this guy. That's how popular this dude was. And we think of Casanova, I'm reading from the text here, and we think of Casanova as a great narcissist, yet he played many other roles in society as he sought to find a place to match his exalted yet fragile self-image. And that's very important because I'm going to talk about his background, and it's mind-blowing, right? He was genuinely outrageous. He was a genuinely outrageous figure who also happened to be a literary, which is crazy. Like, we don't even talk about that part. Like, this dude was a writer. Like, he wrote so many memoirs or whatever. We'll get into it, but he wrote a lot of shit, which was super amazing. I was like, what the fuck? Wow. And it says he happened to be a literary, a psychological, and mathematical genius. Like, what the fuck? That blew my mind. The math part was super amazing to me. I was like, whoa. Background about me, my second degree was in philosophy. I know some people are like, what the fuck does philosophy have to do with mathematics? Believe me when I say it has a lot to do with mathematics. I'll put it this way to make it sweet and simple. Much of my homework in philosophy, I had to take it to the math department to get it done. So if you break down mathematics and fucking philosophy, it's based in logic and reasoning. Please take my word on that. We'll talk about that as well. But that blew my mind that this guy was a genius in mathematics. Like, what the fuck? We don't talk about any of that part, right? But anyway, it says he was a master of self-intervention, excuse me, of self-invention and self-promotion, a dedicated card sharp, wow, a con artist, an escape artist who devised the French lottery, and it says it's still used today, and made himself into one of the first celebrities of modern era. That is amazing. Like, what the fuck? I definitely want to check out some of his mathematical works. I like math, so man, we'll talk about all that as we progress. Um, it says, why are we still fascinated with this upstart more than 200 years? Why are we still fascinated by this upstart more than 200 years after his death? Here is something interesting. It says he was neither handsome nor well educated nor well born. Okay. It talks about him not being handsome. What the fuck? You telling me this dude was ugly? I got a picture here. This is a picture of him right here. Oh man. And sorry I can't share my motherfucking screen. This is my first stream here, and I would like to show you. This is what he looks like. This is a picture of him, and his brother drew this. So I guess I can, since I mentioned it, he is an older brother of Francesco Giuseppe. Giuseppe, please forgive me about mispronouncing these names. But anyway, so this dude was not handsome. He was ugly as fuck, is what I mean. I'm just kidding. He said he wasn't handsome. But I mean, you can judge for yourself about the picture. This is something that blew my mind. It says, nor well educated. And I didn't get that because previously I just said he happened to be a literary, a psychological, and mathematical genius. So how in the fuck was he not well educated? I didn't understand, and I had looked up the term, and I can do that right now just to make, well, I'm not going to look up the term, but that I didn't understand that part. So I don't know if they mean he didn't have a formal education, maybe. Once again, I've only read the preface and some of the first chapter, but I won't go into the first chapter. I'm just only talking about the preface right now. But it says that he wasn't well educated nor well born. And I want to talk about the well born part. Let's see. I don't want to go too far. Yeah, I won't talk about the well born part. But he didn't come from, back in this day, you have the noble family, the rich, wealthy people. He didn't come from that. Let's just say that. Because I don't want to rush into part one, chapter one. It says he lacked position and power. So yes. It says Casanova is legendary for his personifying an archetype of the endlessly romantic, promiscuous, seductive male, yet his lesser known but equally remarkable accomplishments in mathematics and literature have received belated and only partial recognition. That is interesting. So it's crazy how I just said in the previous paragraphs, they said he was a mathematical genius and he was a literary, but then they say that it was only partial recognition for his works. Man, that is something interesting. Like this dude had more talents than seduction, but they didn't really recognize his other works. So, that's interesting. I found that very interesting. Let's see. Casanova exalted women even as he exploited them. Now, I highlighted that because that's very interesting. Casanova exalted women even as he exploited them. And that's something that stuck with me because I didn't understand that. I'm like, how could one exalt women? And I don't want to say pedestalize. I don't want to say simp. But it said it uses the word exalted. since I'm live and I got time, I want to just re-look at the word exalted. Look at some synonyms to the word exalted. Because that is interesting, man. They're saying he exalted women. Exalted women. Exalted definition. Here we go. Exalted is as an adjective of a person or their rankers or status placed at a high or powerful level, held in high regard. High ranking, superior, prominent. I mean, damn. Prestigious. I mean, damn. It is almost kind of like pedestalizing it, if you will. I mean, I don't want to call him a simp because, man, but when we get to his background, man, it's deep. But man, that's crazy that he pedestalized, or let's find another word. He elevated. He elevated women, but he also exploited them. That's interesting, though, when we think about that. But when I think about it, it might not. Let me backtrack. So let's not say simping, because if you think about OnlyFans, check that out. They're Instagram porn. They're elevating women, but they're also exploiting women. That's something to think about. Shit, so they doing some Casanova type shit. I'm just hey, that's just thinking, you know, just looking at it from as many angles as I can. I mean, shit. Hey, it said he preferred to make love, the more romantic the better, not war, as he lived out his sexual and romantic fantasies. Man, now that's some shit. I'm like, okay, I'm with that. I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? He preferred to make love. Okay, so we talking about sex. Hey, I mean, shit. I mean, I'm with it. Are you with that? I mean, I can see myself saying, okay, you know what? I find this person, but I'm trying to think about it from his perspective. I know from my perspective, okay, if I find someone attractive, yeah, I wanna make it romantic, you know, I don't know, but that sounds legitimate to me. I don't know about from my other fellas. I don't know what y'all think. You know, I don't know what the other bros do. Do y'all just bang the pussy out and dip? You know, I mean, cause let's keep it 100. Women like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Some women like, you know what I'm saying? Dude just pull his meat out the dick hole and bang the pussy up and beat that shit, beat the peace sleeve up and pull up his boxes and dip. Hey, but nah, Casanova saying nah, he preferred to make love, the more romantic the better, which I'm for that. Hey, I think that's what's up, and not war. I'm with that. I'm not with the war thing. And he said, it says, and he lived out his sexual and romantic fantasies. Yo, yo, I definitely want to do some of that. Yo, we gotta get. Hey, watch this. Look. Hey, check this out. Watch this.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Hey, check this out.
I'm kinky, nasty as I want to be. Suck toes, lick scalp, eat ass. What?
Yeah. So I'm with you, Casanova. I'm with you on that one. All right. So it also says his desire knew no bounds. Now we gotta start talking about it. It knew no bounds. Okay. How about this? Let me ask you. If you are in these streets, does your sexual conquest has any bounds? Think about that. What are some things that you will and will not do? That's something to think about. But Casanova, his desire knew no bounds. Now, this is where it gets a little It turns a little bit. It gets a little dark. This was a man who claimed to seduce his own daughter and lured her into watching him make love to her mother. That's pretty deep there, man. That's pretty dark right there, bro. It says, I'll read that shit again. This was a man who he claimed this, to seduce his own daughter and lured her, meaning she wasn't like, surefire, he lured her. Man, let me look at the word lure, bro. Because I don't want to misquote. I don't want to, put something out there. Lure definition. Lure is as a verb, it means to tempt, to do something, or to go somewhere, especially by offering some form of a reward. As a noun, something that tempts or is used to tempt a person or animal to do something. I mean, he tempted this person. Now, I'm not going to say she's innocent. I'm not defending that. Because when I say that, I think about the song The Whispers, that Olivia on the way to grandmother's house. I don't know, I forgot the words. So, we talking about it. It's out here. But it says he lured her. He tempted her. I'm just going to leave it at that. He tempted her into watching him make love to her mother. Wow. All right. I'm just going to keep moving. I'm going by the highlighted parts. Hey, this is something about him. He was a tall guy. He was at least 6'2". All right. Now we got to talk about the height. Because ladies love tall men. So that may have gotten him a lot of access because of his height. 6'2". Come on, man. You know how these ladies out here, they want a motherfucker that's six. He gotta have 6 feet, 6 figures, all this shit that the women say. So that could have gotten him into the door of just being 6'2", man. So, man, that was a huge plus on his end that he had the height advantage right there. The genetics hit him with the height. This is some things about him, how he normally dressed. He generally wore a powdered wig in the fashion of the time, a tight silk breeches, tricorn black hat, and a tabaro or a cloak, generally black, cascading over the shoulders and decorated with frills. I didn't really look up all of that, but I'm just gonna glimpse, just think of it as, those old movies with maybe they still have this, I believe, in Europe, the judges with the wigs and shit. That's how I'm kind of picturing this shit. But this is an example of meaning how this book gives a lot of historical aspect, and a lot of this stuff I just don't know. And for me to just keep looking each and every detail is gonna make the book longer than what it needs to be. So I'm just gonna use some assumptions here. Tight silk breeches, that's things of that day, that nature. Most strikingly of all, true Venetians and only Venetians wore I forgot what this was, but bauta, I think that's how it's pronounced, but it says, or rigid white mask at all times or close to it. So I think when I looked up the picture, and I don't know how to share my screen so we can look up this stuff together. If you have any tips on me doing that, please let me know. Holla at me, man. This is my very first stream, so I'm trying to get all of this shit together. I'm just happy to be fucking streaming. And I'm thankful that you are checking it out. Anyway, but yeah, it was like this little white mask thing. In theater, my first degree was in theater, and I'm thinking that's what it was, like this little mask thing. But anyway, the next highlighted part that I put, Casanova was not completely heterosexual. And that's why I wanted to hold off when I said about, um, I mentioned something, oh, about the no bounds. When I was like, his desire knew no bounds. So this text says right here, Casanova was not completely heterosexual. He was attracted to men disguised as women and women disguised as men. Something to talk about. That's something to talk about. So if I can just be honest, so but it just says he was attracted to men disguised as women. I mean, I I would say that would be cross dressing because it didn't say that he was attracted to men who are transitioning to women, transgender. It said no, he was attracted to men disguised as women. I'm assuming, and if I'm correct or if I'm incorrect, please let me know. But that seems to me to be a cross dresser, and there's another word for it. Not cross dresser is one. With femboy, I think femboy would. I guess femboy would be in that category as well. But yeah, but it says he was attracted to men disguised as women. I'm just gonna say cross-dressing for now. I don't want to say transgender, but that's something that I would like to understand as well. So and there's a book that I wanted to purchase about that anyway. But then it also says women disguised as men. So women disguised as men. I don't want to say studs, but I don't know the correct term of the past for those, for women dressed as or disguised as men. I'm just gonna say studs. So he was, I mean, he liked guys who dressed as women, and then he also liked women who dressed as men. So that's pretty ambiguous there. That's very interesting there. I noted that, and it says everything about him was ambiguous, which I just said, both disconcerting and alluring. Wow, so they said that was alluring. If I'm not mistaken, alluring is not a bad thing, but it's I don't want to say tempting, but it's, let's see. Alluring, powerfully and mysteriously attractive or fascinating, seductive. Wow, okay. So here you go. You got this guy, and it says he's not completely heterosexual. He's attracted to men who disguise as women. We'll say cross-dressing, and then women disguised as men. We're just gonna say studs for now. Bull daggers. I don't know any other fucking words for that. But they also note that everything about him was ambiguous, both disconcerting and alluring. Let's look at the word disconcerting. Disconcerting. Let's check that out. Disconcerting, okay. Unsettling, causing one to feel unsettled. Oh. Some synonyms: awkward, concerning, alarming, worrying. Wow, okay, so it's like, so it's not all pleasure, it's not all good. So some people were alarmed, or they found him awkward, but then also alluring. Mysterious, how about that? Wow, that's interesting, man. They don't talk about this part. They don't talk about that. That's why I wanted to share these things about Casanova. So, man, when guys be like, man, I want to be a Casanova, hey, that's something they might want to know. Like, okay, so you're into crossplay or cross-dressers and studs, which is we make skits, and there's a lot of skits being shared, that these type of things happen. And I think that should be brought ahead. Since this is 2025 and we can talk about shit more openly, fuck it. That shit happening, bro. And you can kind of see it now. Well, I can't say, I don't, fuck it. The Diddy case, I can't say the Diddy case because I have not been following the case. But I only hear about with him with some guys, but I don't hear about him with cross dressers or transgender. So that's interesting. When I think about that, I don't hear any stories of him being sexually or just having pleasures with transgender. So that's something. This is Pride Month. So you know what? I'm gonna have to get on my TikTok or something and be like, hey, I'm not. I shouldn't do that because I don't want to put that out there. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to do that. But yeah, it's very interesting, man. Let's see. It says he slept with 122 women. Wow. I don't know if that's a high number back in the day, but man, 122 women by his count. So that's his count, and perhaps with a few men. Now that part I found interesting. So I just said that he was attracted to men disguised as women and women disguised as men. But the next sentence or two, it says he slept with 122 women by his count, and perhaps, why did they say and perhaps a few men? That was odd. Like, you just said that he was attracted to cross-dressers. But why would they say perhaps? When you saying that he had no bounds to his sexual conquest, and he found these people attractive. He found cross-dressers attractive. So I don't understand why would they use the word perhaps a few men. Why would like he had no bounds. So I would think it would be more than just a few. I don't know. I found that pretty odd that they worded that like that. In a society devoted to excess and indulgence, many Venetians boasted on more conquest. But unlike those other libertines, I think that's how you pronounce that word, he recorded every last detail of his exploits in vivid, at times pornographic detail. I highlighted that. Man, okay, so and I thought about that because I was like, that's kind of how Diddy was. Diddy had tapes on allegedly. I don't know. I have not been keeping up with the case, but from my understanding, Diddy had tapes, right? He recorded his shit. Hey, how about this? Would you consider Diddy as a Casanova? Would you consider him as that? That's something to think about. Because it said he recorded every last detail of his exploits in vivid, at times pornographic detail. I mean, from the things that I hear from the Diddy case, I mean, it was pornographic, man. Y'all, I mean, Buddy was fucking for hours. He had fuck sessions for hours and shit. And Cassie, she was with him. She was freaking like a motherfucker with him. So I'm like, man, would you consider not Cassie, but Diddy, a Casanova? Would you? Anyway, so the next part I highlighted, it says seeking revenge on his lack of status. Okay, so now we're starting to get into more of his background, but I highlighted this part. It says seeking revenge for his lack of status at birth. He embarked on a lifelong quest to right this wrong by putting himself out to stud. He would use sex as a weapon of class destruction, searing 8 children out of wedlock, each with different women whom he refused to marry. Okay, did I pronounce that word searing correctly? Oh shit. Did I pronounce that word searing correctly? Let's see. Or is it siring? sire. Caused pregnancy resulting in birth. Okay. So basically, he was fucking these bitches and he got them pregnant. He was a baby daddy. He was a pookie. I'm not laughing, but I'm bringing that up because when we get to his his background, we're gonna see that the cycle he repeated the cycle. Well, no, we'll get to that part. We'll get to that part. But wow, wow, man. But that was curious. I'm curious to know how he used sex as a weapon. I usually I would associate it with women. Remember, this is a different time period, so I don't understand. You know, I'm learning as I read about their culture as much as I can. But I would say women today use sex as a weapon. You married motherfucking men should under fucking stand me, man. You motherfuckers, y'all got wives that y'all have that use sex as a weapon. When she gives you them fucking chores, that chore play, your motherfucking ass go and do that shit just to get some goddamn marital lackluster ass sex. So I don't hear that bullshit. You fucking married men. Yeah, I don't like you motherfuckers, man. You motherfuckers are some fucking liars, bro. You motherfuckers, I don't like you bitch ass motherfuckers, dog. Y'all need to keep it 100, man. You motherfuckers, man. I don't know, man. I'm sorry to go on that goddamn rant. Like married men, dog. Y'all need to quit that shit, man. Free agent lifestyle for life, man. I got the book right here, baby. Check out the book. Free agent lifestyle for life, man. You married men, dog. I just don't fucking understand you motherfuckers, man. But y'all wives be using sex as a fucking weapon. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wish I had some clips. I got some clips I can show you, man. This is one guy on TikTok. This motherfucker is a black dude, and he got this. I don't know if she's white or Hispanic, but she's a plumper. You know what I'm saying? And so she's sitting on the counter, or she's leaning against the counter, the kitchen counter. And so he comes, and if I can remember correctly, he grabs her. He kind of goes down and grab her to pick her up to sit her on the goddamn counter. You know what I'm saying? She cute. She cute. You know, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I don't really disrespect that man and his wife. But anyway, so he did all that to say to put her on the goddamn counter to grab the broom and start sweeping. I'm like, that's chore play, you bitch ass dude. No disrespect to you, dude, but your wife is using sex as a weapon and you trying to clean up to get some goddamn peace leave from your wife. Motherfucker, you providing for that motherfucker. Like, bitch, get that man what he looking for, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Using sex as a weapon, bro. You married men some bitches, bro. Fuck y'all. And I mean that respectfully, man, because y'all some lying sons of bitches, man. Like, man, that marriage shit is, man, get the fuck out of here. But anyway, man, I ain't mean to go off on a rant like that. But anyway, I was associating using sex as a weapon with women because they do that in modern days, man. In this modern day. Anyway, the dude had 8 children out of wedlock. So that we see that today, man. Women love motherfuckers who make babies. There's more fucking baby mamas than men who have kids. Let me repeat that again. And I ain't got the statistics to pull the shit up. How about this? Let me break it down in the black community. There's more black women with motherfucking kids, pookie spawns, than black men with kids. I'm a black man and I ain't got no fucking kids, but you can find more black women with kids. Anyway, women love that shit. They love that shit. They love motherfuckers with kids. But anyway, I continue, man. And he didn't even marry the motherfuckers. He didn't marry the motherfuckers. Anyway, at times he behaved like a cad. I forgot what a cad means. At other times, like a genius. So I'm assuming less than a genius. Okay, cool, whatever. He was the I can't not pronounce his word, but anyway, he was a bad boy. That's how they framed him as, and which women like bad boys. Go figure, huh? He was seen as irresistible. dangerous, amoral. Okay, all right. So yeah, women like that. Women love the bad boy. Go ahead. He knocked your ass up, you dumb bitch. And then they go looking for a good man. They go looking for a good man, you goddamn step dummies. Oh shit. Casanova wasn't only dedicated to hedonists of his day. I forgot what that fucking means. I gotta look that shit up again. But then it says, nor the he wasn't the most brilliant literary figure. Now, I said earlier that it says he was genuinely outrageous. Holy fucking shit. He was genuinely outrageous figure who also happened to be a literary, psychological, and mathematical genius. But then they said here, he wasn't the most brilliant literary figure. Whatever. Maybe I'm picking hairs here. I don't know. But anyway, and certainly not the only rogue, but he was unique in playing all three roles to the hilt. Okay. Almost finished with the preface, man. I mean, I highlighted so many things. I mean, this dude was remarkable. I find this dude very interesting, man. He wasn't. But we'll get into it once we start getting into the chapter 1. Man, it's very interesting. Let's see. Let me just read this previous part right here. Although Casanova's place in history of sensuality and the lore of love is secure, it comes at a surprise to many that he was a flesh and blood person. I didn't understand that part, a flesh and blood person. I don't know, maybe you can help me out understand that shit. And an outstanding figure of the Enlightenment. So he was a huge figure during that period, and that's crazy. In school, you know, they used to teach us, well, they made us learn about the Enlightened period. A lot of great people came out of the Enlightened period. Please forgive me for not knowing my history as well. And that's something I could have looked up. A lot of the great people that came out of the Enlightenment period, I know it's a huge monumental period of history. But they're saying he was an outstanding figure of the Enlightenment period. Why am I saying all of this? Is because in school, we're not really taught Casanova. That's one name that they never brought up in school. Some kind of I'm trying to understand why they didn't bring him up. You know, the fucking school system is ridiculous, man. I don't know about your school system, but my public school system that had brought me into the education realm of knowledge, these motherfuckers missed a lot of important shit, man. Casanova is a very important figure to talk about, especially in the landscape of dating men and women. And let's say if we learn this in high school, or was it middle school, high school, or even college, I think that's something that we should talk about, the dating landscape. Fuck it, you know, I'm like, shit, the shit is all around you. You got hormones. If you're in high school, you got your hormones raging. College, you already know them frats be, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, that's something to talk about, you know? That's a good topic of conversation to bring. And they're saying he was one of the outstanding figures, but they don't mention him at all. That's fucking weird. His 12-volume, he had wrote it said a 12-volume, I cannot pronounce this because it's not in English, but it says Histoire de ma vie. I cannot pronounce that. Once again, I'm learning words and terms and all of this stuff, so please forgive me. But it says written in French, represents the most important source of information about his life and loves and kaleidoscopic view of his times. Let's see. Sexual transgressions, even the seduction of his illegitimate daughter. So that's why I wanted to bring up that earlier. I think I did mention that, but yeah, he did the 8 kids and so on and so forth. Sexual transgressions, even the seduction of his illegitimate daughter, who might have become pregnant with Casanova's child. Wow, now that's something to talk about too. Is his son and grandson he revealed here in a world of I cannot pronounce that word as well. As it was amoral. Okay, wow. So he got his daughter pregnant. Wow, that's deep as fuck, man. Like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Why not talk about that shit in college? We talked about, okay, so my first degree is in theater. We talked about motherfucking Oedipus. We talked about Oedipus. Why not talk about fucking Casanova? You know, Oedipus killed his fucking father and married his fucking mother, had kids and shit by her. You know, like that. So this shit happens today, to this day, man. Like, wow, this shit is deep, bro. This shit is, you know, it's very interesting, bro. And let's not forget about some of these families, these people who want to keep it in the family. They want to keep their bloodline and shit. I'm not trying to be funny, but I believe like there was this show of this family in West Virginia. I'm not saying that they did anything of this nature, but come on, man. Some of this stuff kind of hints from keeping it in the family, if you will. I hear, you know, funny jokes about that shit in the South, like Alabama, or Georgia and shit like that. I mean, this shit happens, bro. Like, this shit is happening. Anyway, Casanova did publish extensively in his life. So, like, why would they say here that his most brilliant he was nor the most brilliant literary figure, but then when I get to this page, it says Casanova did publish extensively in his lifetime. So I guess you're saying just because he published shit, people didn't recognize it or something. But I mean, damn, he's writing, bro. He's putting work out here. I mean, put some respect on his name in that aspect of him putting works out here. Wow, he completed a multi-volume science fiction novel, A History of Poland, and also several volumes, translated the Iliad into French, composed 400 poems, devised a polemic refuting Voltaire. I don't know what the fuck that means. I have to look that shit up. Penned nearly 2,000 letters on any idea that came into his head. Wow. And left another 3,000 pages of unfinished literary projects, all the while pursuing ardent love affairs and elaborate intrigues. Wow. He was hyper-sexed and hyper-literary. That's what it says, hyper-literary. I mean, put some respect on his fucking name in terms of him writing, man. Like, I want to know what he was writing about. Like, we only look at it, we only have this idea just only about sex. That's all. He was this great lover. That's it. Bam. And you know, even Levert has that song. I ain't much of no Casanova. Me and Romeo ain't never been. Like his name is still mentioned to this day, but we don't talk about him being a writer, bro, a literary figure, man. We don't talk about none of that shit. And last but not least, I got a long little part here, and then we're gonna end the stream. Casanova was as far from perfect as he could be, obviously, from what I just mentioned. Yes, his message is one of rejoicing in sexual exploration as the path to fulfillment and enlightenment. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with him? His message is one of rejoicing in sexual exploration as the path to fulfillment and enlightenment. Do you agree with that? And before you say yes and no, just gathering all the things that I just said, man, he had sex with his daughter and had a baby. That's, man, like, are you willing to go that far with this shit? You know, that's a bit much right there, man. That's some parts I don't want to go that fucking deep. He had sex with men who disguise as women, cross-dressers, and women who disguise as men, studs. Hey, there's this funny skit I forgot that lady name. And I wish I could share my fucking screen. That would be awesome if I learn how to do that shit. I'm using motherfucking Streamlabs. So if you can direct me to a way that I can fucking share my screen and we can look at some shit together, that'll be fucking awesome, man. But I want to say her name is Funny with Brit. Fuck, I forgot her name. But she always has these skits with the neighbor. Her neighbor always, she's a stud, by the way, and a comedian. I've never seen any of her comedic work, her stand-up material. But the skits, this neighbor, he's always, you don't never see the neighbor's face, but he's always going to her house, trying to press up on her. He's trying to get them goods. That's a great example of the modern day. Not saying he's a Casanova. What I am saying is that men are attracted to studs. That's something to talk about, man. Men are attracted to studs. And then some men be like, that's a woman. Studs come in many forms, like the WNBA, man. It's some rough looking motherfuckers in the WNBA. But it's some bad motherfuckers in the WNBA too, man. Hey, I like Caitlin Clark, man. She fine. She fine. But a lot of motherfuckers say, nah, they don't like Caitlin Clark. They be like, whatever they say. I don't know what the fuck they say. But I think she fine. So that's a great example. I like Caitlin Clark. I be like, damn, that motherfucker fine. It was one when she had that little red top on. I think it was like a little khaki dress. I was like, ooh. But I'm saying, but hey, let's keep it 100. Now let's talk about the men disguised as women. I'm trying to think of anybody who had any skits like that. I don't know if anybody had any skits like that. I do see some skits, or I shouldn't even say, well, no, I don't see any skits like that. I do come across on Instagram where the transgender, they always talk about the guys in their DMs. That's a little bit further along in the conversation because those are transgendered. In this text, it says men disguised as women. So that's a different take. So I don't want to jump the gun and start mixing conversations. So that's a tough one on that one. So I don't know any content creators who have touched that topic of men. But I do notice that content creators do cross the, how could I say it? They don't touch on the subject of a man being attracted to a man dressed as a woman or cross dressers, but I do see content creators. I wish I had the skits recorded. I don't have those motherfucking skits, but you see guys dressing as women in a lot of these skits. You do see that, but they don't toe the line in terms of showing that a man is attracted to them. So they don't cross the line in that aspect. It says, nevertheless, he kept his allegiance to the old, familiar, corrupt order. Nevertheless, he kept his allegiance to the old, familiar, corrupt order. He preferred the thrill of escape to the responsibility of freedom. Interesting. He believed devoutly in God. Whoa. Oh, let me finish the sentence. He believed devoutly in God and pitied those who did not. Ooh, here we go. Let's talk about religion and son of a bitch. So you motherfuckers who be like, Casanova, y'all talk all that craziness about him. He believed in God. So now what, motherfuckers? So if you believe in God, I don't believe in God, so I don't give a fuck. But you religious motherfuckers who hold him to this, y'all look down on him. He did all these things and talk about sex and everything. He believed in God too. Now what? Where do you place him now? Now he pitied those who do not. So he had pity on me. But I don't give a fuck. That's what you believe in, bro. I don't believe in that shit. That religion shit don't fly with me. But I'm talking about you religious people who look down on Casanova, who had these sexual escapades. Okay, how about this? You motherfuckers, y'all talk about Diddy and y'all talk about these people who I guess we'll just use Diddy as an example. Y'all make fun of Diddy and y'all talk about him and y'all, oh, Diddy gay and all this. But what if Diddy say he believe in God too? The same God you believe in. Do you disrespect him now, or do you shun him away, or do you pray for your boy? Oh, how about this? He had what's his name? Have you been swallowed? Yeah, yeah. That's your boy. That's your boy. He believed in God. He still do. I don't know. I don't. Once again, I'm not religious. I don't believe in God or any gods. Whatever. It ain't about me in this context. But yeah, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? Hmm? Do you cast him away? He believes in the same thing you believe in. Are you saying you're better than him? Are you telling me that you don't have fucking kids out of wedlock? Come on, holler at me. You believe in God, but you out here having illegitimate babies and shit. Come on, holler at me. Come on, let's keep it 1,000. Wow, y'all talk all that shit, but then y'all look at people like Casanova. Y'all look down on them, but you doing the same goddamn shit. Come on, man. Fucking weirdos, man. But as a libertine, I forgot what that word meant. But as a libertine, Freemason, Epicurean, and a devotee of the Kabbalah, he was also trying to burst the bounds of Venetian institutions to exalt the self and one's sexuality. Man, this guy has a lot of sexual vigor, if you will, man. Like, wow, man. Wow. That's something, man. This dude has a lot of sexual energy, if you will. And he wasn't afraid, man. He wasn't afraid to share that. So I'm hoping that when I read this, I can understand where that came about, get a little bit more context about that. He believed in everything that came his way: religion, philosophy. I believe in philosophy. He believed in magic, science, and especially love. Wow. So he believed in love. Let's just go right to it. Now, the philosophy part, I'm with. I'm interested in learning about magic. I don't believe in it at all. But I just want to read about it. You know, a lot of women are into the tarot and witches and all of this shit. That's a part of our culture as well. Why you would say, well, why am I more interested in magic than religion? Right? That's a good question. Why would I be more interested in magic than religion? I don't know. Magic, it seems as though just from my thoughts, religion is a man-made construct, but it takes the power away from the individual. Meaning you'll hear people say they pray to a god. So you're praying to a higher being to change your situation, meaning you have no control over the circumstance or the situation. You have no control over anything. They say, oh, it's in God's hands. You have to, even, and let's just take it away from God per se. We could talk about like in the Greek gods and stuff like that. You know, they have to go to Delphi and all of this. You know, they have to do things. It takes away the human aspect of control or power, or the power to change things. But magic is different, because now when we think about it, like witch's brew, now it seems like the people who practice it have control. I'm not saying I believe in it, but that's something that interests me, that you're saying that you can whip up some sort of brew or whatever the case may be. Sorry to sound ignorant. That's not what I'm trying to do. But you get the idea that these witches can cast spells, meaning they have the power to do something, rather than say, oh man, I'm in a tough pickle. All right, let's just pray and get out of this situation. Hopefully, nah. Magic, you actually conjuring up whatever it is, the spell or whatever it is, you're taking control of whatever you need to do to get yourself or get a response or get the outcome that you need. That's why I'm interested in magic over religion. Religion, you have no fucking control. You have no fucking say in religion. It's whatever that text said, you fucking quote unquote supposed to follow. You motherfuckers don't follow that shit. And the motherfuckers who wrote the shit only wrote the shit to control your stupid ass. Yeah, I said it, bitch. So I'm more interested in magic because I like that idea. Okay, cool. You're saying that you can create something, a spell. That's interesting. I like that idea. That's more intriguing. Science, man. I love science. I have a bone to pick with science, man. I once was this guy. I was head over heels with science. Science does not answer every fucking thing. It's only a tool. That's how I have to look at it. Science as a tool to get the best results or attempt to get the answers that we need. You know, that's how I look at science. It's the best that we have to get to the closest to the truth that we have. That's the closest what we have. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. I used to be all deep into science. Like, man, I was like, this is it, man. We can answer shit. But we only come up with educated guesses, if you will, theories. You know, they got the Big Bang Theory. You got all of these theories. It's the best guess of what we can come up with. But we don't have science doesn't answer every fucking thing. It doesn't give the exact answer that we need. It is not a concrete, solid answer. If that makes any fucking sense. And he was especially, he believed in love. Now here we go. Now, I don't believe in love. And let's you know, you can break this because love has many forms, if you will. I don't know all the forms. I forgot all the forms. I'm talking about when I read this as in love, I'm talking about in the sense of I love you in the romantic forever love. I don't believe in that shit. Shit is a fairy tale, man. We've been lied to, bro. We've been lied to. How about this? Let me say it this way. And shout out to motherfucking Coach Greg Adams. I love you, brother. I got your book, man. Thank you for what you've done for me, and thank you for all the shit that you're doing for the bros, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Salute to the coach gang. This is a quote that he said from Coach Greg Adams. How about this? Men are in love, women are in business. Let's just leave it at that. It's the men. We are the lovers. We the fucking ones that's in love. We want to love. We write poems. You saw this motherfucker. He wrote how many poems? This motherfucker composed 400 poems. We are the lovers. We are the fucking lovers, man. Movies and all this shit. We in love, man, but women are in business, bro. So this idea, he believing in love, bro, that's just your emotions, bro. That's just your fucking emotional ass. That's just your wanting to get some goddamn peace leave. That's what the fuck that is, man. That's what the fuck that is, man. That's your biology just saying, yo, we need you to impregnate these bitches. That's what the fuck that is, man. That's what that is, man. All this romance shit. Now, once again, I'm not coming down on pause on Casanova because I'm agreeing with this part. Remember earlier I was like, it said he preferred to make love. The more romantic, the better. I'm with that shit. Not war, as he lived out his sexual and romantic fantasies. I'm with that part. Now that I'm with. Yeah, I'm with that part. But in terms of saying, you know what? I'm gonna wipe this bitch up. Nah. I'm not doing that shit. Nah, I'm a free agent, motherfucker. You see the book right here? Free agent for life, baby. I'm not doing I'm gonna get married and settle down with this woman and have kids and family. I'm not doing that goofy ass shit. But the act of making love, making it romantic, I'm with that shit. That's something I want to talk about. That's something I'm into. Like, yo, I want to take my time. I want to, you know what? How about this?
And I'm kinky, nasty, nasty as I want to be. Suck toes, lick scalp, eat ass. What?
Oh, this one ain't gonna work. Oh, this one. Oh, that ain't gonna work. I gotta get that one next time. I gotta load that one up. Oh, you know what? Here it is. Look. Check this out. Let's see if it'll play. Let's see if it'll play. Oh, hold on. Let me. It's not gonna come up on the screen. Watch this. Let's see if it'll play.
I eat ass like a crab. Let's get all that out.
Shout out to my man DJ Will E. Robo, man. Shout out to him, man. Let me play that joint one again.
I eat ass like a crab. Let's get all that out.
Yeah, one again.
And I'm kinky, nasty, nasty as I want to be. Suck toes, lick scalp, eat ass. What?
Yeah, nasty boys in the building, baby. Oh shit, yo. All right, I'm almost done, man. He spiked the age of enlightenment with sex and more sex. Let's talk about sex, man. So we're gonna be bringing up sex a lot in this shit, man. Once again, it said he exploited women shamelessly. Wow. At the same time, he gave himself to the women he possessed. That's something to talk about, man. Now that might be a slight difference between, because I gave the analogy of how Instagram, OnlyFans, porn, these motherfuckers, they exploit women. They exploit women. They exalt them. They do the same thing. But the difference is between them and Casanova, because earlier I said they exalted, and what was the phrase I said? They exalted, and I'm not going to find it. But anyway, the difference between Instagram and OnlyFans, because they're exploiting these women, they're using these women. But right here it said he gave himself to the women he possessed. Now that's something unique. He's using these women, but he's also putting himself, he's giving himself to them. Like he's making it romantic, man. That's I mean, I don't know if you want to call that narcissism. I have no idea how to classify that shit. Man, because I'm trying to think how to define that shit, man. I mean, he's using these women, but he's also, I got a good example, and shout out to Coach Greg Adams once again. I'm gonna give her the same analogy how Coach, and I could be wrong, but this is a good example. Pimps. Coach breaks down this concept, this idea about pimping. Pimps exploit their prostitutes. They exploit their hoes, right? The things that the pimps and the pimp culture and the black culture, the black people don't really talk about pimping. Pimp C and all these guys, they sleep with their bitches. They sleep. They got their bottom bitch. They sleep with these women. So on one aspect, they exploit these bitches to get money, but at the back end, they're using they're using them for one aspect, but that's also their girlfriend. They fall in love with these women. That's a great fucking example. Wow. I'm not saying he was pimping, but what I am indicating or suggesting is that he's using them from one aspect, but he's also in love with them at the second aspect of it, the second half of that. Just like pimps. Once again, pimps, shout out to Coach for breaking this shit down. Pimps using these women, but they're also engaged sexually. They're in love with these women. That's crazy, bro. That is some crazy. That's some interesting shit, man. Man, I gotta explore that shit. Not saying that I'm want to do that. No, 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 no. I'm saying explore it in the sense of trying to understand that mindset, to understand what it is like you're exploiting them or the behavior. Like what's driving them to do one thing, but then kind of counteract that with the opposite. I don't know. It's weird. That's weird. Let's see. They have something in quotes form. It says, "I don't conquer, I submit." Ooh. He explained. So let me read that last sentence, or this sentence. It says, at the same time, he gave himself to the women he possessed. And they have it in quotes. It says, "I don't conquer, I submit." He explained. He exalted women beyond reason. Each love affair was, for him, a meeting of the mind and spirit, a glimpse of eternity and ecstasy. Whoa. That's deep. I think that is fucking deep, bro. That's deep. He's not using it as a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. He's saying, I don't conquer, I submit. Now that's the part I'm like, how are you submitting to him though? But I don't know. We can explore this shit. I don't know if it's because of his sexual conquest or his desire, his appetite. He has to have more. But he's saying he submit. That's something interesting. He's saying he submit. But I kind of understand it, man. Because like I'm not trying to give you my sexual history and all that. I'm not trying to do that. But if I'm intimate with a woman, I want to indulge. I want to and just like engulf. Like how can I use that word? It says a meeting of the mind and spirit. That's interesting. Like I want to connect with your ass. Like Rick and Morty. How about this? On Rick and Morty, I have not seen the episode, but on TikTok they showed this clip. I forgot the dragons. Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, I remember like some kind of way they like tie souls and shit, and you can feel that person. That's deep as fuck, bro. I'm interested in that type of shit, like bonding with a motherfucker. Like wow, like yo, like you get as he said, each love affair for him was a meeting of the mind and spirit, a glimpse of eternity and ecstasy. Yo, that is the end of the preface. But that's some type of shit I'm on. I would like to explore that shit. I would like to explore that. I think that's very interesting. What the fuck, man? My book ain't closing. That's something I'm intrigued about. You know, like just connecting on that type of level. But I have to say, if you're doing something for me, and I don't know, you know, I'm still learning. This is something new. Man, I'll give you some background about me. How about that? And thanks to Coach, once again, Coach Gray, shout out, man. Man, back in the fucking day, man, first of all, fellas, we got to get our bag up, man. It's tough as fuck out here, bro, but we got to boss the fuck up. What the fuck do I mean about all this? What the fuck does that got to do anything? Men in love, women are in business. Bro, it costs to be the boss. All men fucking pay. All of these words I'm saying comes from Coach, man. Bro, all men pay, man. Dealing with a woman, any woman, it's going to cost, bro. Back in the day, man, I grew up in a culture where R&B, man, simping. I grew up in a culture where simping was the idea of how you get a woman. You sing all these poems and you write all these notes and all that goofy ass, dumb ass shit. That ain't the way to go, bro. That ain't it. That wasn't it, bro. I grew up in a culture where you got to use your crispy mouthpiece. You got to mac these hoes. That shit ain't working, bro. It might work for some, majority of us fellas, that shit don't work, bro. That shit, we gotta get our bag up, bro. There's just call it what it is, man. Get your money up, man. Some motherfuckers, I grew up in the culture where when a motherfucker do something financially for a woman, then you got motherfuckers who be hating, talking about, oh, you tricking. Then I grew up with that type of shit, man. All men pay, bro. All men pay. Shout out to Coach. Protect your fucking meat, your money, energy, attention, and time, man. It's that fucking simple, man. Bro, I said all that to say is that I was that brokey. I was that goddamn wannabe mouthpiece ass motherfucker. I ain't had no motherfucking mouthpiece, man. So it's a lot of shit that I missed, man. I was the motherfucker without. I'm not ashamed to say that shit. Bro, a lot of motherfuckers the same way. Gen Z, I hear, is the same way. They even worse than how I had it, bro. I'm hearing it's worse for them guys, man. So I thought I had it bad. I'm not saying I'm on a sexual prowl and I'm getting bitches every day and all that. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that now that things have changed for me, now opportunities are presenting themselves to me. Not saying every day. I'm not saying it like that. No. But what I am saying is that now I'm older, a lot older. I'm an old man now. And now I'm in a leverage. I'm in a position now to where I don't have to chase. I mean, I was out there chasing, and ended up with nothing. I was out there doing that dumbass shit. Now I'm in a position where I'm like, bro, I'm not fixing to chase. I don't have to chase, man. I'm not doing that shit. I don't have to waste my time. Another simping ass tactic was the friend zone guy. I tried that dumb shit. All of these broke ass tactics that I use, that shit didn't work. I'm not saying that I'm out here and I'm a Casanova. No, I'm not saying that. However, I am saying that now I'm in a better position for myself to not do broke boy type shit. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in a position, okay, we can have a meeting of the minds. That was one of the things to have these conversations. Okay, cool. If this person is interested, okay, we can progress further. How about that? I'll just leave it at that. But once again, I'm not a player. I'm not none of that shit. Man, I'm a free agent. I'm about bossing my fucking self up in this fucking life. It's getting crazy out here. And yeah, I'm trying to be not like Casanova, but I want to enjoy. I'm on the dark side, baby. I want to enjoy the sexual pleasures that I have, the fantasies. How about this?
And I'm kinky, nasty as I want to be. Suck toes, lick scalp, eat ass, what?
You know what I'm saying? I want to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? But I want to do it responsibly. I don't want to have a wife. I don't want to have no fucking kids. I don't want none of that shit. I want to do it responsibly. And I want to indulge in some of the things that Casanova is talking about. Oh man, my book. Why is it not closing? But yeah, I want to seek that ecstasy, bro. I want to seek that. I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol and nothing of that nature. So this is something I want to explore. My sexual endeavors. I want to enjoy that shit. I got fantasies. I know you got some too, motherfucker. Don't get all fucking bush. Don't do that shit with me, baby. We keep it real on this channel. We talk about philosophy. We talk about life. That's why I'm setting this channel up, man, because I want to talk about this shit. Like fuck it. I'm human. You human. So let's talk about this shit. So that's why I chose this book, and that's other books. I'm definitely gonna get into all my books right here, man. I got my free agent lifestyle, my cash flow quadrants. I got the manipulated man, and I got how I stop child support. Lionel Tillman, man. So I'm gonna talk about those too. But for right now, I want to talk about this one. It's Casanova, man. So yeah, man, that's it. Man, I didn't know I went that fucking long, bro. I thought I was just gonna be on here for a few minutes, but I'm excited, man. This is my first fucking live stream. There's so much I gotta improve on. I'm so thankful I did it, yo. Like a weight has been lifted off my fucking shoulders, bro. Man. So yeah, we're gonna talk about this shit. Yes, we're gonna get kinky. We're gonna get.
And I'm kinky, nasty as I want to be. Suck toes, lick scalp, eat ass, what?
Hey, where are the white women at?
Hey, man, I appreciate you for tuning in. Please hit the fucking like button for me, man. Send me some goddamn comments. Man, let me know it. I can only improve. I'm at the fucking bottom, baby. All I can do is improve my shit. So your comments, your feedback is gonna get me to where I need to be. So I appreciate that. And go ahead and subscribe, man. This is not the last. This is the beginning, baby. So join me. Join me on this journey of YouTube, man. And I gotta get all associated with the other platforms as well. I use them, but now I want to be a creator. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you. There's more to come. As always, peace, baby. And be kind to your fucking self out here. Man, this world is crazy. So you gotta be kind to your fucking self, man.